Ciaran Frawley, you are the URC player of the match, and Luke is going to present your medal.
Cheers, Lukey. Right, mug.
A big congrats, Ciaran. Obviously, Connacht made life difficult in the first half. How proud are you of that second half performance?
Yeah, it's always a tough place to come. We knew that. We hyped it up during the week, and we talked about an accurate start, which we actually started off with. But as you see, Connacht always come back into the game, and they had us on the ropes there at half time. But all credit to young Hawkshaw coming on and taking the reins. Superb game. I probably robbed this from him, I thought, but yeah, delighted to get the win.
You got lots of touches on the ball in the attacking sense. How much are you enjoying being part of that Leinster attack?
Yeah, look, it's a good kind of cohesive thing we have going in Leinster, that we have like two kind of playmakers, 10 and 12, and we talk to each other the whole time, and we're just looking for space. So it's good as coming off, I suppose.
And just lastly, on a personal level, how are you finding this season individually?
Yeah, obviously the setback with the bit of the fracture to the face 5 weeks ago. Thank God it was only a 5-week injury. Like, just some lads that can be out for a whole season, so I'm blessed that way. But yeah, it's great to be back and buzzing out for the next block of games.
Congrats tonight. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Well, Luke, Connacht had a strong first half. What were the messages at half time?
I suppose we were just very inaccurate. Like, that can happen when you're playing against 14 men, but full credit to Connacht, they made life very difficult for us. I suppose we just talked about holding on to the ball a little bit better, and Hawkshaw came on, played really well, put us in the right areas, and we were able to capitalise on them.
Leo mentioned before the game the disappointment with the Ulster game last time out. How important is it for you to win these interpros and win so well as well?
Yeah, huge. Like, we were very disappointed after last week, and it was even more frustrating having a bit of a break. But straight after, we couldn't go straight back into a game. So we knew there was a lot riding on this game. Probably didn't start the way we'd liked, but thankfully we got the win. It's a very tough place to come.
A great game from yourself. You sniped in for a try. What did you see there?
Yeah, I don't know what. I just literally took the ball from the ruck and started to run. But thankfully it was a gap for me. But full credit to the lads. The forwards were brilliant in that second half and laid the platform for us.
Well done tonight. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, another great performance from him tonight. You do wonder, Jamie, why can't he get in the Ireland squad?
It's a really good question. I think whatever, we have kind of our 1 and 2 nines, in terms of how we pick them between either Murray or Gibson Park, but I don't think that 3 is as nailed on as what people think. Casey's a good player, but I think Luke McGrath has shown oodles of experience and class in terms of how he controls games consistently for a extended period here. And I'm as baffled as a lot of people of why he's not getting picked. He's a very different 9 than, let's say, Jameson Gibson Park, but he's playing within a system that's very familiar to the way Ireland are playing. That constantly moving the point of contact, pushing on the pass, playing fast, and he does that. But he does it with a bit of you feel like a bit more sense of control. Maybe that's the wrong word, but he's well able to take breaks as well and take the opportunity where it comes. And I wouldn't rule him out. I think he's putting the pressure on, and all he can do is exactly what he did tonight, is just take the opportunity when it comes to kind of put your flag in the ground and say, this is what I'm about, and he did a great job of that tonight.
As much of it is about his playing style, it's also just what he does for this Leinster team. The leadership in the second half. You talked about this, Jerry, as well. Just this Leinster team, how they needed their leaders to step up in the second half, and he was definitely one of them.
Yeah, I thought he put a lot more direction on their game. I thought Rhys Ruddock also stepped up in the second half. He's a really good player, Luke McGrath. He's really, really good. I remember when I was playing and I was in the international squad, I was hearing about this guy coming through, this young guy called Luke McGrath. And when I saw him, I wasn't surprised at how good he was. He's a fantastic player. He's so well rounded, and I don't think he's far off the international setup. I agree with Jamie. I think Gibson Park and Conor Murray are probably your bolters. You're bolted on at first and second choice. Craig Casey's there. Craig probably has the advantage of, because of his age, they may see that we may be more of an uplift in his game because of his age. But Luke McGrath is very, very close, particularly with the way he's playing tonight.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Speaking of what happens, here's a look at the table where you see Leinster obviously putting themselves right at the top in a very, very comfortable position with another bonus point tonight. But worryingly for Connacht, when you see them at the other end of the table here, they're sitting on 28 points in 10th position. They're in a difficult situation now, Jamie, with those last couple of games. They're going to have to do something special in South Africa, you would imagine, to make the knockout stages now. Yeah,
it's not going to be easy. But when if they were to stop now in their season and look back, they'd be looking at themselves going like, we're not being consistent at all. We're not being consistent for 80 minutes in a game. We're not being consistent week on week. We can go from a high to an unbelievable low. And and to get to the end of a long season when you're playing in 2 competitions and you throw a couple of internationals in there as well, taking away your top players, it's 11 months long. You've got to deliver consistency. You don't have to be at 90 or 100% all the time, but to get to the knockouts, you've got to be like 75, 80% consistently.
Yeah, and look, for them now, they've got to face into 2 European games against Leinster. It's going to be tough to pick themselves up for that one as well.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be really, really hard. But I suppose that there's a couple of things they can write off. They can say, well, look, we did have a red card. We can be sharper on things like that and keep 15 players in the field. But they're not going to be happy with the errors that they made. In the first 20 minutes, they made a load of unforced errors, missing touch when they had penalties, passing the ball into touch, and then they shored those up and they were right in the mix then, and they can take a lot from that. The second 20 minutes of the first half, second half, then I'm afraid whether it's fatigue, but we saw those errors creeping in again, and it just won't be good enough against Leinster.
Yeah, it certainly won't. It wasn't good enough tonight, lads. We're going to have to